Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the GG Report. We are glad that we're coming to you once again on this show. And I'm excited that the GG Report, being a program that addresses itself to a broad range of issues, political, socio, economic, legal, philosophical, spiritual, whatever you call it. I mean, we really want to have big, bold, and honest conversation. This is a place where you find honest conversations. And so I welcome you to the show today. My guest today is a friend and someone that has a very, very interesting story. I will soon be introducing him to you. And I'm looking forward to today's conversation. So let me first welcome Dr. Duncan Ojwang. Karibu, welcome to the show.
Asante, thank you, my pastor.
Very good. Yeah, welcome. Now, I want to give you a little bit of background why I have Dr. Duncan with me on this show. Now, one of the things that I've been puzzling about is the idea of the relationship between law, politics, and faith. And I thought that this is a subject that we're not having, and a lot of things are not very clear, because in our nation, and of course this is going to be largely drifted to politics. In our nation, you know, politics is a big thing. It's a conversation every day, and so there is the aspect of the law, and then the politics and faith. We are people of faith. I'm a pastor. Dr. Duncan here, who I'm going to introduce, is a Christian and a very good man. And I know he has a heart for people and the ministry. He has a story, a testimony. So, but he's an expert in law. So that's the background. And I really want us to have a conversation today and address ourselves to these issues that are sometimes not talked about in our society, on the relationship between law, politics, and faith. Right, so now let me just tell you who Dr. Duncan is. Dr. Duncan Ojwang is the Dean of the Law School at the Africa Nazarene University. And he earned his PhD in law. They call it SGD, Doctor of Philosophy in Law and Policy, and with an emphasis on human rights of indigenous people from the University of Arizona in James Rogers College of Law in 2013. That's very interesting. And then you also have other qualification and all that. But most important, today we don't want to go into the technical bit. We just want to have a conversation. So, Dr. Duncan,
Yes.
Tell us, let's start from your journey, your career journey, how it all began and how you ended up, studying all the way to the apex of the legal profession. Yes, sir.
Thank you for this opportunity, and even for to the viewers. I think that what law is that law resolves the problems of the society.
Right.
And even when old men wanted to think, they look at law.
Yes.
For solution to society. So law is not an end by itself.
Yes.
It's simply one of the tools.
Yes.
And that is why religion, law, and all this are tools for society, and they advance the social control of the society.
Yes.
Through different ways.
Yes.
So my journey, I looked at it as even an African, wondering, did we have law? Do we have law before we talk of penal code and section whatever in the Constitution?
Yes.
Do we have law?
Yes.
And I read one missionary who came to Africa, Kenya specifically, met with the Maasai and wrote first a very damning report. These people have no law, have no custom, until he went one time and met Maasai elders.
Yes.
And in this meeting, the Maasai elders were trying a case of a Maasai woman who had murdered somebody.
Okay.
And so this guy is very curious. What are they going to do? The people who don't have laws, because I don't see penal codes.
Yes.
And he's telling us in the book that in that meeting, this elder said, do we have within our custom how to judge a woman murderer? And they both accepted that, no, we only know how to judge a male murderer.
Yes.
So then what do we do? Let us send some old men to Tanzania, talk to the Tanzania Maasai, and ask them, have you seen anything like this? And the Tanzania Maasai, and then let's meet next week and see if there is precedent that we can borrow from the Tanzania Maasai. He went there, he found, they came back and said, yes, Tanzania Maasai have seen how something like this, and actually this is how they handle a woman murderer. Then these people said, let us adopt that principle. And this person said, wait a minute. So these people have laws, these people legislate, these people know when their law is not working. Now, if you come from a society like mine, we have the sense of wrong. According to the law, what is wrong? We have taught, we have contract. So we have within us the sense of wrong. If you read the book of Rome, it says, even the Gentiles who had no law did the right thing. So Paul is saying, I didn't see the Gentiles being handed the 10 Commandments, but somehow they just did the right thing. And he's saying they even became a law unto themselves, but they did the right thing. So growing up, I was convinced that law is one of the tools for the society. If there's any prestige to come from law, is because it is meaningful in resolving society problem. And so with that, I was able to find my way. I first did psychology and then moved to law, first degree, second degree, third degree, and practiced law in Illinois. Worked there a little bit with the special rapporteur of the United Nations on the issue of indigenous. So then I became interested in group rights, not the individual rights so much. Our right on our language, our right to land. And so even in Kenya, I've been so much involved with the issue of land justice. I took the Mao case to Africa Commission for Human Rights. I am working with the Kedong and the Maasai people because I look at it, and if you look at even as a Christian, when Paul is talking of heaven as our inheritance, he's thinking of it in terms of almost land. When you see how God is dividing that land and saying, for the tribe of Hebron, you are here, for the tribe of Judah, you are here. And then Paul is using the same language to be that is our inheritance. So then it becomes very important to me. So my journey have been kind of straightforward. That I have.
You just got interested in law,
and
I think maybe there was a background in that. Obviously, law being a profession that you.
There was a background, and maybe it will be amiss to say this. My grandfather was an interpreter in the British court. And I was named after him. And so whenever I go to a market or anywhere, once people learn that I am the grandchild of so-and-so, they will be giving me a story of, when I was in Kisii High Court, that old mzee, because he was one of the few Africans who were there.
So now interpret, because the court was running in English. And the local people.
The local people don't understand.
They would not be able to communicate.
But you see, for Africans, he was a judge. So in fact, even my mother believed that he's a daughter of a judge. So in that sense, from that affirmation, because we grow up in a society so that people are not even interested in knowing who is Duncan. They only want to know who is your parent or who is your grandchild. Then I know you now. You are related to so and so. This is how we are related. So they kept affirming that. You know what? Your grandfather was good. I saw your grandfather. So I kind of knew that having been named after my grandfather, and not just my mother shooting from the hip, she said she had a dream from him telling him, not naming, but conceive and have another child and name him after me. And all those processes happened, and I happened to be here. So then that became clear that I was going to take that path. That, I think, talks of mentorship and talks of, feeling that you are part of a narrative that is big. So even when I was growing up, when I even dropped out of school in Form 3, all I needed to be told is to be reminded of that journey
Yes.
that I don't just represent myself.
No,
I represent this name, I represent this generation,
Yes.
the confidence that my mother put on it, naming me after his father. He does not even call me by name, he calls me old man or my dad. And so the love and whatever made me to decide that, you see, I must follow this career path.
That's good. That's good. That's just amazing. And then that took you to America.
So that
it took you to America
at a
and where
very
you
young
studied.
age.
Yes.
Indiana.
Yes.
Did psychology.
Yes.
And then law degree. And
Yes.
then master's.
Yes.
And then PhD.
Yes.
And then practiced some law in Chicago.
That's good. That's
For
good.
about 13, 14 years. Then I came back.
All right. Good. So now I think we'll return now to the issue you opened up about law, the relationship between law and politics. Because I mean, you're already beginning to touch on it when you talk about the and by the way, you can lay a little bit more emphasis on the indigenous aspect of the fact that our law really existed. There was a law, even though it wasn't documented and with all the
penal codes
and all that, but it existed. And then how that now is playing out at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm curious because you refer to it in the past tense. It existed. No, it exists even today.
Yes.
So from the language, you are putting it as history.
Yes.
It exists even today.
Okay.
When you grow up,
yes,
and when I was growing up,
yeah,
you know, even these things, Pastor, that people are trying, like competence-based education.
Yes.
When I was growing up, when you do something wrong,
yes,
and even if you are being spanked, the issue will be who has taught you this.
Yes.
Meaning that somebody is taught.
Yes.
It wasn't you are a bad child or whatever.
Yes.
It will be who has taught you can answer grown-ups this way.
Okay.
Who has taught you that you can stay late this much.
Yes.
So then you can see that within that upbringing,
yes,
the education is not derogated to the classroom, desk, library, chalkboard, blackboard, and duster. The education is at home.
Yes.
And so within our culture, within our informal, our values are inculcated there.
Yes.
You'll find if you went to my village and you found something not making sense, what older people will say is, are there no older men to teach people the right thing here? Meaning education becomes very important for an African.
Yes.
And that is where we get our law. We had law. We have laws.
Yes.
Look at our constitution, which say customary law is part of our sources of law.
Okay.
Yes, so that has been even vindicated even today.
Yes.
And so when you look at when I look at a verse, for example, Isaiah 59:14.
Yes.
So justice is driven back, and righteousness stand at a distance. Truth has stumbled in the streets. Honesty cannot enter.
Okay.
That the truth is staggering in the public square.
Yes.
And that is the dilemma that Isaiah is saying. Truth is stumbling like a drunkard person. When he looks at the public square, who is going to hold the truth so that truth cannot fall?
Yes.
And so that's why he's saying justice is driven back.
Yes.
Righteousness stands at a distance.
Yes.
Truth has stumbled in the street.
Yes.
Honesty cannot enter.
Yes.
If you read 59:15, it says, truth is nowhere to be found. And whoever shuns evil become a prey. The Lord looked and was displeased that there was no justice.
Yes.
So the element, justice is so close to the heart of God.
Yes.
That when Isaiah is describing and saying the truth is stumbling in the public square, and that is what most Christians have discerned, that in politics, in our public discourse, the truth is staggering. And so where does that come in?
Yes.
You know, as a pastor, you do discipleship.
Yes.
And that discipleship means that in every aspect of our life, and even as Christians, if we look at everything as a ministry, not just the pulpit ministry, but if somebody is a lawyer, that is their pulpit and that is their ministry. If somebody is a saloonist, that is their ministry, full-time ministry.
That's true.
And if we come with that concept, then you can find that this public square that the truth is stumbling on is a function and a job for all of us.
We all have a role to play.
We all have a role to play.
In the public square.
Yes.
So that truth and justice
can stand.
Yes. And the idea of the fact that when you don't do the right thing, one of the big questions that is always asked is, who taught you this?
Who taught you this?
In other words, there is a discipleship.
Yes.
Whose disciple are you?
Yes.
Yeah, in other words, you're not doing the right thing.
Right.
It means that somebody is either leading you astray or did not teach you what you needed to do.
Yes.
So, and then of course that now has to bring us to the politics of our day. One of the big challenges I've seen is that there's always a conflict between politics and law. The people who vote for the law side of things are always accusing politicians of breaking the law, not being truthful. And recently, for example, we will use a recent example. The Chief Justice wrote to the President asking that the President dissolves Parliament. And the legal fraternity, and I'll call them fraternity, came out with all their guns, saying, yes, now you must dissolve Parliament. But then, and if you don't dissolve Parliament, then you guys are renegating on the wonderful constitution that we all, you swore to defend this constitution, why are you not doing the right thing? So speaking to that,
because I think all of us desire a country of law and not of the big people.
Okay.
However honest they are.
Yes.
That we desire a country where we are governed by rules.
Yes.
It is predictable, it has no mood, it has no, and we don't like when we personalize things and we are not governed by rules, then you use your political office to punish or reward those you hate and all that.
Exactly.
So then the issue of rule of law become very important, even more so for the weak.
Yes.
Because the people, and that's what Chief Justice Mutunga said. Chief Justice Mutunga said the powerful can find a way around justice.
Yes.
But for the weak, remember the story of that widow who kept going to that unjust judge.
Yes, exactly.
You are my only hope. so then when you talk of rule of law in the 2010 Constitution, it is our governing instrument that start by saying sovereignty belongs to the people.
Okay.
Not to the government, not to President and his brother Raila, as respected as they are. Our consent of voting for them does not mean they now do everything out of that on our behalf. The sovereignty belongs to the people. They're the sovereign without a gun. They're the sovereign without territory, but they're the sovereign. And they can only delegate. Just like the sun delegate to the moon. The moon cannot be brighter than the sun.
Okay.
So if we have delegated the power to MPs, to the president, we have also delegated it to the court. And then it becomes very important that our court remain neutral and dispassionate and able to resolve the society conflict. If you look in this country before 2010, people used to go to court, but they were not expecting any justice. But they would still go to court because they were finding a discourse or a place to say this in public square. Right now, we don't want our politics to enter into the court, and we want court to remain arbitrators that can tell us, here you are wrong. If a discussion that William Mutunga had with the president, and the president was saying, but according to you, Chief Justice, I'm a mere rubber stamp. And Mutunga looked at him saying, then you have understood the Constitution. If you can agree to be a rubber stamp, then you have understood what the Constitution envisioned. That you must be governed by law, not whims, not what you feel. So then lawyers have generally felt that it is important. But people who really defend law are not just lawyers. People who believe in the rule of law are good Kenyans who believe that there is a place for a just system that can regulate our politics.
Okay.
You know, gone are the days where we are saying, Bwana, this is politics. And you know, our politics is not issue-based.
Yes.
It is a politics, as I was telling you last time.
Yeah.
As you are talking, people have lined up waiting for money. And in fact, I remember one person telling me, Bwana, we will have to because it's democracy.
Yeah.
Us who want money, you'll finish with us. Then you remain with those who want to listen to those policies of yours.
Yes.
Because us, we are not interested in policies. And they also have democratic right to choose what they want. So they have chosen that they don't want to hear policies.
Yeah.
They want. So then the court remain this internal sanctum where we cannot come and say, Bwana, this is politics, everything goes.
Yes.
That is why court now and the Constitution put values.
Yes.
Article 10 there.
Yes.
That in everything you are doing,
yes,
the principle of equality,
yes,
fairness,
yes,
the rule of law,
yes,
protecting the weak and marginalized,
yes,
accountability. You must be accountable.
Yes.
Politicians don't want to be accountable.
That's true.
But the Constitution is saying you must be accountable. And you cannot have any power that you are not given by this Constitution.
Yes.
So then that is how we become the country of law. But when you find that it has always, and it is not any particular leadership, it is the nature of any government to want to expand. You want things a little easier. Who does not want things a little easier? And so in that tendency,
yes,
it takes also people who love their country to say that, you know what, these speed governors are not choking us.
Yes.
They're actually good. When you see somebody has put a fence, there's a reason why there's a fence here.
Yes.
And don't just bring down the fence and say the fence is blocking me from seeing the view and whatever.
Yes.
So the Constitution has worked like a fence. Now, when you look at the role of law in our politics,
yes,
about long time ago,
yes,
the court have decided, and the Constitution have supported them, that we are the people who can look at what Parliament have done and say it is constitutional or unconstitutional.
Okay.
That's a lot of power.
Yes.
We can look at what the President have done and say this is constitutional or this is not
constitutional.
We have the last say
on
whether what you have done complies with the Constitution.
Yes.
Because the Constitution gives you that power and you have done it according to that power.
Exactly.
So that is a lot of power. That is why we are seeing a very reinvigorated judiciary and a powerful judiciary that is bringing what we call check and balance. Right now the lawyers are obsessed with what we call judicial review.
Okay.
That every action that you think does not comply, let us have judicial
review.
And you see that has even gone even to the private sphere.
Yes.
So because we have rights there. So for example, I have right to associate. We have right to liberty. And I was part of the team, even within the church, that were concerned that even as the Constitution has given the right to religion, it is taking it because it's saying you cannot discriminate on the basis of religion.
Yes.
Who is the person to go to there? Courts have said, this right do not just belong to congregation, it belongs to individual.
Yes.
The SDA challenge and the noise that was around.
Yes.
When people went to court, the right to associate does not just belong to the church, it also belongs to an individual. It's an individual right. So if I want to associate this way, then you must protect that right. So court remain the person who protect that right, in the sense having the last say.
Okay. I think I like that. And viewers, as you listening to us, I'm sure you're picking up good ideas, and I like what Dr. Duncan is describing. The idea that the law and the court system, the lawyers, actually really put people back on the path, on the right path, and the idea of always having to check whether what you're doing is actually constitutional. So that's very, very important. But we also have seen now what do you have to say about the idea that, for example, politicians get to a place where they make some exception. So here the law kind of like is demanding that you do this, but then now you find that you you can't do it, or well, we see politicians not do it.
You don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it. So what exactly goes on in that particular aspect?
So within that, it is the human tendency.
Yes.
You sing in our SDA church, prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. A human being is always prone to wander.
Yes.
And that is by nature.
Okay.
And most of politicians.
Yes.
If you have read the book, The Animal Farm.
Yes. By George
Orwell. You'll find where the chickens met, and the chicken will, he says that it came to a point where every animal will ascribe any good thing, even if it is fortune, to the comrade Napoleon, even if it's not relating to him.
Yes.
So the chicken will say, thanks to comrade, under the leadership of comrade Napoleon,
yes,
I've been able to lay 5 eggs in 6 days.
Yes.
I mean, this is such a great leader.
Yes.
And it's showing how ridiculous that is, because what is the leadership of Napoleon to do with this chicken lay? That's how politics work.
Yes.
The cows, you also say the cow will be talking and drinking water, and will say, thanks to the leadership of comrade Napoleon.
Yes.
How cool is this water? And then he finishes by saying that the test of liberty is to say the truth to those who don't want it.
Yes.
To say the truth to those who don't want to hear the truth.
Exactly.
Those who want to be told, if you have come with BBI, this is the best thing I've never seen. Surely as I'm drinking this water, these articles are great because so-and-so put his hands on it.
Yes.
That is, so there is a disconnect there.
Yes, there is a disconnect.
And so lawyers generally, not all, but lawyers tend to have infidelity to law, not individuals.
Okay.
The loyalty not to the group or the political grouping, but to law. And if court could do that, and if individual could do that, then we can have a society of rules. So politicians usually find that, you know, that is what J.B. Ojwang was saying, we might have constitution without constitutionalism. We have seen it in 10 Commandments.
That's true. That's true. We might have constitution without constitutionalism. So we're going to a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to come back to these issues. We are looking at the law, the relationship between law, politics, and faith. So after this, we're going to talk about the faith aspect, and I'm also going to ask Dr. Ojwang to talk about his experience in actual politics, not just in the theory bit of it, but in the actual politics. So we go for a short break, and then we'll come back shortly. God bless you. Keep listening.